Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Empoleon. Empoleon is probably my least favourite of the Sinnoh starters personally, but I do want to thank Goldoa Dragon for kind of inspiring me with the Empoleon. He is a big fan of the Empoleon. His team is the New York Empoleons, and in general, like, I've seen that Empoleon can put pressure on teams and can be really quite nice and work really well. So I did just want to put that thank you there and that shout out, and this kind of inspired the first set because this is a set that he ran against me once, or a very similar set to what he's run against me before, and this is a Life Orb Defiant set. So Defiant, if you're hit with a dark type move, I think Pokemon's attack if your stat's lowered, your attack gets raised by 2. So say you get Moonblasted and your special attack gets lowered, your attack then goes up by 2, or if you get Intimidated, your attack goes down once, but it goes back up by 2, so it's a +1 in total. We have Agility here, so that doubles your speed, which can be really handy. Make sure that you outspeed a lot of things. We have Aqua Jet, Earthquake, and Knockoff as hitting moves here. You can always run Waterfall if you want to, but I think Aqua Jet just ensures that you are outspeeding some things, because a lot of Choice Scarf Mons are probably going to be faster than you after an Agility, and even if you can't get an Agility off first, you can then start Aqua Jetting and putting some pressure on things and getting that priority move, especially if they have priority moves as well when you're faster. So just kind of many situations where Aqua Jet may work a little bit better. Boosted by the stab there also, so it's rather than base 40, it's base 60, I think. I think it's base 40. Let me just have a look. Yeah, it's base 40, so it's base 60 instead if you include the stab bonus. Earthquake is just, again, really strong, really good against like fire types, which you're taking neutral damage to, good against rock types, good against steel types. Just in general, Earthquake is a really good move regardless. Knockoff to get rid of items, because items can be so frustrating. Items can be the worst thing in the game. If a thing's choiced, or if a thing is holding Eviolite or leftovers, say like Clefable holding Life Orb as well, it just puts the pressure on that and just gets rid of the pressure on you, sorry, I should say, because some of those things can be really scary, and without an item are nowhere near as scary. EVs, we have max attack and max speed with an adamant nature, so more attack and less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. And yeah, the idea is set up an agility and then just go to town with the other moves. If you can get a Defiant boost, then go for it, but that's not always going to happen. But you know what? Can work sometimes. And the second set we have, again, Leftovers and Defiant. So Defiant, I explained before. Stealth Rock, Toxic, Scald, and Ice Beam. So Defiant doesn't really work here. Defiant doesn't really work because I'm running specially. But we have Stealth Rock to set up the rocks. Can stop things like fire types coming in. It can stop a lot of mons coming in, just in general, because like it stops things from switching in and out as freely because they are taking damage. And the more that things wear down, the more issue there are going to be. Toxic to start Toxic stalling, and with the Stealth Rock Toxic combination here, it's pretty nice because obviously they don't want the Toxic to rack up too much, but they don't want to be switching too much at the same time, so putting that pressure on in both ways on one Pokemon can be really cool. Scald, if you don't want to take the Toxic approach and it's a really strong sweeper, so physical sweeper, you can Scald and try and get the burn on it as well. Just be very, very wary of Guts Pokemon because a lot of them are around, and I have actually run a couple of times where I've had Guts as the ability, but I haven't had a Flame Orb or anything, and then it's been activated by Scald because I anticipated there was going to be a Scald. So that's something you do have to look out for. And Ice Beam there is just there for general coverage. Ice Beam is just really good to have. Can hit grass types, can hit ground types that you're going to be super effective against you. It can hit flying types. In general, it does a really good job. EVs, we have max HP and max defense with a bold nature, so more defense and less attack, sorry, and 4 EVs and special attack, just boosting that special attack a little bit more here. And yeah, honestly, this thing is just kind of a more tanky mon. It's going to be taking some hits, but you can obviously Scald, Toxic, and Stealth Rock. No reliable recovery on this, but having a Wish Passer in the back can always be really handy too. Things like maybe Trimecha, I think a Psychic type will work okay here. In general, trying to think of other Wish Passers, maybe even Jolteon. I know Jolteon can learn Wish, and having that kind of in the back can work really well too. But yeah, that is it for Empoleon. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so I hope you had a good one, and I will see you soon.